everybody. Welcome to the Killer Author Club. Sit back, relax. We have a little intro and we'll be right back. We've got Catherine McKenzie in the house, so stay where you are. Thanks for being here.
Thought you really loved me, guess I was wrong. Thought you'd never leave me, guess I was dumb. Waited like forever to be your plus one, but I guess you were done.
Hey everybody, thank you for being here. I'm Killer Kara Ruda and I'm here with Killer Kimberly Bell and Killer Heather Gunkopf with our special guest, Killer Catherine McKenzie, and we're so happy you guys are all here tonight. And we came together during the pandemic. We all three had books coming out. It was my second pandemic book. We're all like, how can we do something different and fun to kind of make our books come to life when we couldn't do anything in person? And so we got together and we created the Killer Author Club, and we love to talk about killing in the fictional sense. And we love to have killer cocktails and killer giveaways as well. So you guys that have been with us know about all of that. All right, so here's some business stuff. Okay, during the episode, you can drop questions in the comments, and we can't get to all of them, but we will try to get to as many as possible. Also, if you haven't yet, please join us in the Killer Author Clubhouse on Facebook. It's a private group, and we like that because we have exclusive things for our members. So if you can, join that. We also have a public Facebook group, Killer Author Club. I always forget to post there because I really like the membership side, but I will post there too. So you can be on the public side, but if you want to have like secret giveaways and other special stuff, like our first book club for Clubhouse members that we'll talk about later in the episode, but we're really excited and we'll tell you more. Anyway, okay, you also want to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't, because we want to give you prizes for doing that because we're trying to build our YouTube channel. And I think we're over like 150 now, right, guys? Have you guys checked? I know. Anyway, okay, back to the show. Now, without further ado, Heather, please introduce our killer guest.
Oh, I'm so excited. We have Catherine McKenzie here, one of our favorites. So Catherine was born and raised in Montreal, Canada, a graduate of McGill University in History and Law. Smarty cat. Catherine practiced law for 20 years before leaving to write full-time, lucky us. And she's an avid runner, skier, and tennis player. She's also the author of numerous best-selling works, including I'll Never Tell and The Good Liar. Her books have been translated into multiple languages, and Please Join Us, I'll Never Tell, and You Can't Catch Me have all been optioned for development into a television series. So yay. We get our project ready now. So Catherine, tell us a little bit about Please Join Us.
It's about a lawyer whose career is going along swimmingly, she thinks, and then she hits a sort of major speed bump. And she's feeling very vulnerable. And right at that moment, she gets an invitation to an anonymous women's group that promises to solve all of her problems. But, it's a thriller, so some things go wrong.
So good. And we're going to talk more about the book in just for a moment. But Kimberly, do we have a killer cocktail for this episode?
We do have a killer cocktail, and it is the Panthera Leo Aperol Spritz. I happen to know that Catherine has a story behind why she chose this. So tell us all about it.
Well, I was in Italy this summer in the heat wave, and it was very, very, very hot. And by the end of my trip to Italy, I was 90% Aperol Spritz and 10% Coke Zero. And so when you asked what cocktail I had on the brain, I mean, maybe I don't have a brain anymore because of the number of cocktails, but that was the cocktail that came to mind.
That was it. I love an Aperol Spritz too. They're so good, especially when it's hot.
Yes.
They're perfect hot.
I was on the Amalfi Coast, and they do, because this is where they grow all the lemons in Italy, and so they do a lemon spritz with limoncello. Also delicious.
I think I might like that one better.
It's good.
I'm going to try that.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Portugal and they had Porto spritz, right?
Wow.
I didn't like those as well
Ew,
as
that
the
doesn't sound good. I don't know.
it just didn't quite do it the same way.
Because I like port, but it's like it's sweeter and thick and
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a little too thick, but
but limoncello, I could dig that. We actually always have a bottle in our freezer because I love it so much. Like after dinner, just after
mix it with some prosecco and some soda, and like there you go.
That sounds nice, actually. Really. All right, so everybody, do you have your cocktail, Catherine?
Well, you know what? Because I had so many Aperol spritzes, I'm on a little drinking pause. So I actually have a really good non-alcoholic amaretto sour, which is more like the limoncello.
Okay, that's fine.
I've also been enjoying. So yeah, I'm taking a little. I'm training for a half marathon also, so it's my excuse to take a drinking pause.
Did you just say you ran a half?
No, I'm training. I'm training.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, probably better to not do this than cheers.
You're wine, I think, right? Yeah.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. All right, you guys, are we ready for the next section?
I think so.
I think we are. Okay, so this is when we're going to talk about the killer question. But first, a little bit more about Please Join Us. It was named one of 2022's best and most anticipated thrillers by Goodreads, Crime Reads, Motherly, Westport Magazine, and it's out now, obviously. Laura Dave called it a propulsive thriller about secret organizations, hidden agendas, and the lengths one woman will go to reclaim her life. Mary Kubica said, Please Join Us shows how some people will stop at nothing to get what they wanted, and we love that. Okay, and then here's a little brief description. At 39, Nicole Mueller's life is on the rocks. Her once brilliant law career is falling apart. She and her husband, Dan, are soon to be forced out of the apartment they love. After a warning from her firm's senior partner, she receives an invitation from the exclusive women's networking group, Panthera Leo. Membership is anonymous, but every member is a successful professional. Despite Dan's concerns that the group might be a cult, Nicole signs up for their retreat in Colorado. At first, everything goes great, but when things grow sinister, will she be able to extract herself? Okay, and so the question is, and then we can talk more about the plot. Not a lot, of course, because it's thriller. Okay, the question is, where do you kill?
Oh
no, why do you kill? But wasn't it where do you kill?
Probably Heather has the wrong graphic. That is my MO.
No. That would be there's got to be one little thing that we do, right?
It's fine.
Which one would you like, Catherine?
You can answer either one.
Prepared for.
I'll answer why do I kill? Sure. You know, I honestly started writing thrillers because those were just the ideas that came to me. I grew up reading mysteries mostly, a lot of Agatha Christie and Rex Stout and books like that. And so I think I just, even before I was writing thrillers, I had twists. When I was writing rom-coms, I had twists in them. So I think that's just kind of how my brain works. And there's not always a killing in every one of my books necessarily, but there is in Please Join Us. But there's a twist to that killing also, so that's why. We're just all messed up people, right? Like we look at normal situations and then we think of like the dark place that normal situation can go.
Right. We want to kill people, really, but we can't do that in real. No, I'm kidding. In real life. So.
I remember actually when I was doing my first like murder on the page was in my book You Can't Catch Me, and I was writing it and I posted online. I'm like, I'm about to commit my first murder.
See, the Killer Author Club loves that stuff. So how did you feel about your first murder?
You know, it's always like, I don't tend to put a lot of gore on the page. So it was striking that balance. You know, there's some authors we all know they are who go like very deep into that. And I'm a bit squeamish, to be honest. So I like to keep the blood to a minimum and stuff. But it's more you know, are they going to get away with it? Am I going to get away with it with hiding it in the book? Who did it? Why done it? That sort of stuff. So that's the fun. I like puzzles. It's like writing thrillers is like making a big puzzle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's the fun of it too. I don't need to read like tons of gore on the page. I mean, I can, but I like the ones, I mean, that's to me the more interesting part of the story is why did they kill? How are they going to get away with it? What does it do to the people left behind? All those questions.
Yeah, exactly. The who, what, where, when, and why are all as important as the how.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And also, I agree, like with the clean killing, I get squeamish too. Like when I kill, I want it to be like really subtle. And then like they almost don't know they're dying and then they die and then oops. Yeah.
Oops, I pushed you off a cliff.
Yeah. Oops. Hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking for a question. I'm just putting some comments. Everybody has tons of questions.
I have a question. Actually, so Catherine and I saw each other this past weekend because she was in Atlanta and I went to an event. So I know the answer to this, but I thought it was interesting. So Catherine, tell everybody like kind of where this story came from, because it came from something that actually happened to you, right?
Yeah. I years ago received an email inviting me to a secret women's organization. And I, wrote back and said, like, who recommended me for this? Oh, well, we can't tell you, but, we can rest assured that there's lots of famous and successful women in this organization, and go here to apply. And I went to their website and it had lots of, like Lisa S recommends, it wasn't Panthera Leo, but whatever it was called, I don't remember. And I was like, oh, maybe, I don't know. I started filling out the application and then I got distracted. And that night I was telling my husband about it. He's like, what? No, like, you're not going to some retreat in Idaho. Like, that's not happening.
Oh my gosh.
And the next day I was at my desk and I got an email and it was like, oh, you didn't finish filling out your application. Do you want to continue? But it was like one of those automated emails. And I was like, oh, this is creepy. No. And that happened a couple more times. And so it stuck in my mind, but I deleted it. And then a year later, right before the pandemic, I was in New York and I was pitching ideas for a book. And the one that I, of course, had plotted out, that one drew the meh. And then I was like, well, I did get this strange email once. I think I just had "please join us" written down in my idea book and nothing more. So, yeah. So that's what happened. I didn't join.
Oh, good.
Only in the book.
Well, it's become so timely because, in the news not that long ago with a very, similar setup, it sounds like, to your book and to I think it was Nexium.
For Nexium, yeah. Yeah, well, I watched The Vow after I'd already started writing the book, but I knew about Nexium. I've always been interested in cults, and I have another book. My book, You Can't Catch Me, addresses that topic in a different way because the main character grew up in a cult. For sure that and many other organizations like that were in the back of my mind, and even more seemingly benign things, like the way people are obsessed with goop or other things like that, right? It's like there's lots of things that have culty aspects to them. And obviously, again, it's a thriller, so they're going to be expanded out and made darker than vagina candles or whatever.
Oh no, we're gonna have to bleep that. No, we don't really have any sense.
We're mostly women.
Yeah, and I just love it because it's so twisty and complex, because you have these very smart, accomplished women who, I think, and this happens in real life too, get caught up in these, wild schemes and organizations. And it's kind of hard to believe, but it happens all the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm always trying, like with my books and this one in particular, I want to cast all the parts as women. So like not just one person or two people, but everyone in the book basically is a woman, and the few men in the book are playing the roles that women often play in movies, like the girlfriend. I mean, it's her husband, but
Right.
he takes the back seat. And so it's really the good people and the people in between and the villains are all women. And like, I think that's reality, you know? So, but it's often not shown in books. Like, we are 50% of the population, but we do not take up 50% of the places in pop, you know, in movies, TV shows. So, and often even books written by women. So, I did that deliberately. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is, you know, this is women, you know, trying to find their place in a man's world, right? She works in a law office, and you know, I imagine, I think we've all kind of been in that place, right, where you're trying to prove yourself, and so you maybe do something that you would otherwise not consider doing.
Totally.
I think that commenter just said all women face that, truly, because it is a man's world. It has been. It's been set up that way. So, I mean, I think no matter what career you've chosen or whatever field, you're always bumping into that. And it's so important to show the characters from a woman's perspective and strong women. And even though we're killing people, we like to do that too. We like to. It's almost it's empowering and important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, it's weird too. We had The Last Housewife, which is dealing with a cult, and then Please Join Us, and then The Vicious Circle. We're having Kat on.
Yeah, and I just met her. We were actually texting today.
Oh, you were? Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. So,
she's in Atlanta now too.
Our books are both about cults. So it's something's in the air, obviously.
I know, it's like zeitgeisty, really, because I didn't even know that all of those books were the same until I read them, and it's like, wow,
yeah. No, I haven't read The Other Housewife either. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And the thing that's, you know, Kat's book, I've read hers too, because I got an early copy a while ago, but yours and Ashley's, The Last Housewife, both have the cult thing, kind of, you know, and they both have like that feminist, you know, women trying to succeed in a man's world and trying to find their place in a man's world. So there's definitely some sort of chord with that, for sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I would love to respond to all these comments. For those of you saying that you've read some of my other books and you love them, thank you so much. Or this book and you loved it, thank you. Show the love with Amazon reviews.
Yeah, any review anywhere, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I wanted to get to Renee's question. It flashed on and then it flashed off. But
Sorry.
About ending, and we don't want to give any spoilers away, but she asked in particular if you had planned it that way and if it had maybe changed, because your ending is, you do end with a whammy.
Good. Yeah, no, you know what? The ending, like, I always know who, what, when, where, why before I start. And that did not change in the book, but I did have a different scene in my mind when I started, and I still know what that scene is, but it didn't make its way into the book because I realized that I was missing a couple of twists when I was like 2/3 through. And after my moment of panic subsided, I figured out, like, I already had stuff buried in the book that I could use to create some more twists. And then the last page, I was trying to remember earlier today, I had always thought I would have that last page, or if that changed. But I like having, like, you think it's the end and then there's something a little bit more. So it's good when that feels satisfying. That works. It's not always possible in every book, but yeah.
I love one of those, and this is one of those endings where, like, your mind keeps going. The story is officially done, last page, but your mind keeps going because there's more story, and it wants to, like, you know,
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of information that's revealed in the last couple of chapters. So, yeah.
Okay, look, I left a question up there.
How did you
research
for this stuff?
How did you research?
I mean, I did some research on the group. I knew I wanted to model it after some animal, and so I did some research to try and figure out what that would be. And I had that expression, the lion's share of the work, which actually comes from the fact that female lions, like, do the lion's share of the work in their prides. And so I did some research into that, and there's many other organizations like subset within the book that are all named after something to do with lions, and Linnaeus, this guy Linnaeus who named the lions and all this stuff. So that stuff like was some of it. And the rest of it, honestly, I didn't do anything specific for this book. As I said, I've just long been interested in cults and fully immersed in pop culture. And I worked as a lawyer for 20 years in a law firm. So I did not need to do any research into that part of things at all. And it's very, all that stuff happens and more in law firms. So not necessarily the law firm I used to belong to, but definitely. Am I already plotting my next book? Yeah, I'm actually 30 pages away from finishing my edit on next year's book. It's called, and I saw a draft of the cover the other day. That was exciting.
That's fun.
As you guys will know, often when you get that cover email, it's always like, we're so excited to share these covers. And then you open the document, and you're like, really? You were excited about that? But in this case, I was excited. So that was good.
That's so fun. It's the
I'll
best
be
feeling.
That soon. Yeah. And it's called Have You Seen Her? It's, I think, coming out in June. And it's about a search and rescue worker in Yosemite who gets embroiled in a case of a missing couple.
Very
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll be excited for that one to come along too. So, yes.
Well, it's weird actually getting the cover for the next one when, like, literally in release week. I was like, well,
why do they always plan these things together? You're doing edits, you're getting your cover, you're doing your tour. Like, why does that always have to happen at the same time?
And then there's months of nothing.
Question, Kimberly.
It's like months of nothing. You don't hear anything, and then
I know, right? Nothing. It's all
hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait. Yeah.
Well, Catherine is giving away one copy of Please Join Us. And all you have to do, for those of you who are out there, is answer this question about our killer guest. And we will pick from one of the correct answers, and bonus points for joining our Killer Author Club on Facebook or subscribing to our YouTube channel. So make sure you do that as well. So the question is, what was Catherine's profession before deciding to write full time? So
you made the question super hard.
I know.
So everybody
hardly talked about it.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky one. But if you know the answer, drop your answer in the comments.
Oh my gosh, everybody's getting it right.
Yeah, everyone's getting it right.
24 hours.
An interesting question. I saw two different questions about the covers and go by, and one of them was like, do I select my covers? And then someone was like, why do editors get to select the cover? It doesn't seem fair. Well, it's not the editor, it's the art department of the publisher, and they do it because that's their job and their specialty. But we do get input into the covers. So when I've had covers that I've hated in the past, in the first draft, well, I didn't necessarily use the word hate when I wrote back, but I think it's like, maybe we could try again. This is not working. And actually, Please Join Us. Was this the original one? I think it was similar to this, the first draft, but not quite this. And then 6 Weeks to Live, I remember, had a completely different cover. We had agreed on a different cover, and then it went to sales, and sales was like, no, this is not working for us.
I've had that happen to me.
Yep. Yeah. So I think it's always, it's good to have people who are the experts in what they do choosing these things. And I don't know about you guys, but I think often authors are terrible at choosing covers. Like,
well, we're a little close to it, right?
We're too close.
Yeah, we are too close.
We are too close. Or I'll just often find, even about other people's books, that there's sometimes covers I love and that people don't respond to it, but other covers that I find blah or not that interesting,
everybody loves. Yeah,
everybody loves them. So yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
Well, this one is perfect for a book selfie, which you.
Yeah, I know it works well. Right?
Yours was perfect.
Yeah.
Do it like
hard to do. Yeah.
I'm not good at reading. I have a lot of books. I have a lot of books.
Yours is good.
No, that one's good. Yeah, take them. I'm actually running, if people want to do that, I'm running a contest on my Instagram page.
Okay.
If you take a book face, please join us, post it, tag me, and you will be entered to win my contest. I think it's a $25 gift certificate and some fun swag.
Love it.
Fun.
Yeah. So, and if you don't win your
made
copy,
these like fun pamphlets for Panthera Leo.
Oh, that looks so official. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You join the organization.
Wow.
Here's even they pulled like people, the character, like photos for the characters and stuff. Super fun.
So cool.
I love it. And if you don't win your copy tonight, you can go and get your copy at Catherine's favorite bookstore. We always select or ask our killer authors to select an indie, and you chose Belmont Books in Belmont, Massachusetts. Can you tell us why you chose that bookstore?
Yeah, there was a first stop on my US tour, and they have a bunch of signed copies. So if you buy from them, you'll get a signed copy.
Awesome. And then you can hold it up to your face and post the picture on Instagram and be part of the contest. So I will be dropping that in the comments in just a minute, as soon as I'm done talking and somebody else takes over. So hang on for that. I also wanted to talk about the swag giveaway, because we started doing this. We give some swag to a couple of people that we choose at random from the Clubhouse members, the Killer Author Clubhouse on Facebook. If you're watching us from there, you are in the right spot. If you're watching from other places, you are welcome. We'd love for you to join, and you will be in the running for some swag tonight. It is boom.
Nice.
Boom.
These are tote bags. You can carry all your books, Catherine's books, all of our books in it. And the winners are Teresa Malloy and the Clubhouse member who invited her to the group, Stacy Manley. So congrats, ladies. DM one of us your address, and we will send the swag your way. And like I said, if you would like to be in the running, join the Killer Author Clubhouse. I'll drop that link in the comments as well, because membership has its privileges. And besides the swag, one of the things that we are going to be doing there is a book club. And we have our first author, who is super exciting. And she's actually someone that when we asked in the Clubhouse, who would you guys like to have join us? Her name floated many times to the top of the list. She is an Amazon #1 best-selling author, a TikTok sensation, and the wife of Drew. Do y'all know who it is?
I know. I'm guessing.
So here we go. Mark.
They didn't tell me. I'm just guessing. That was my guess.
Mark your calendars. October 18th, Geneva Rose will be here, and we will be discussing One of Us is Dead, which is her latest release. And make sure to read the book before you come in on that discussion, because we are going to be talking spoilers. So come with your list of burning questions for Geneva about that book, or about Drew, what it is to be married to a rock star. All your questions, bring them, come armed. And like I said, that'll be in the Clubhouse. So I will drop those links in the comments. And one other thing I wanted to mention, and that is that Kara's Somebody's Home. I don't know which number book that is for you. Her book Facebook is like daily deal today. So, and it's on sale for, I think, $2.49.
Yeah.
So that link is coming up in the comments too. So I will pass it on now to Kara so I can go do these comments.
Okay, yeah, you go do the comments. And okay, so Killer Catherine, we are so happy you joined us, and we're very happy that you survived the Killer Author Club. So we have a gift for you, and I think Kimberly has to do that part too.
Here it comes.
Yep. Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we give you a really big I Survived badge, and you can put it over your face. You can put it on your next book cover. You can put it anywhere, or nowhere. But anyway, we will send you a copy of your very own I Survived Killer Author Club.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Okay, Heather.
Yes.
To you.
So, thank you so much, Catherine, for being here. But we will be having another guest in 2 weeks. So our next guest novel has been described by Killer Kara as a chilling immersion into a disturbing cult disguised as a wellness center tucked away in a secluded jungle. A haunting, gripping novel. The author has worked as an actress, screenwriter, director, photographer, producer, singer, songwriter, legal assistant, bartender, waitress, yoga instructor, real estate agent, and travel coordinator. I am tired. Just reading.
That's a lot of jobs.
Still very inadequate. But this author finds she likes writing novels best, which is great for all of us. It sounds like another great episode. So please join us.
Stop using my book title.
Please join us.
We said that as much as we can.
Episode on Tuesday, September 13th at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, and 6 Pacific. In the meantime, go shopping at killerauthorclub.com. Thank you to Catherine. Thank you to everyone for being here. And please come visit Killer Author Club on Facebook often, or Instagram or YouTube, and go buy a bunch of Catherine's books at Belmont Books. So thanks everyone for being here.
Night, everyone.
I guess I'm a killer, threw our love into the river. Heard you saying